Very good afternoon, everyone. I'm thankful to the organizer of LISACON 2021 for providing me with an opportunity to present my paper. And myself, Sagendar Singh Parmar, a PhD student under the supervision of Dr. Rashmi Kumbar, Assistant Professor, School of Library Information Science, Central University of Gujarat. So the title of my paper is Open Pedagogy Model for Promoting Open Educational Resources in Indian Public Schools. So this entire study is revolves around the three concepts of open education, open educational resources, open pedagogy. So we know that in academic, the word open means coming out from the phenomena of its mind, and the word education means sharing of knowledge between two or more people. So the both the term open and education refers to the sharing of resources. And when we are sharing these resources with some open licenses, then it becomes open educational resources. Fine. And the concept of open pedagogy, the basic idea behind this open pedagogy is to integrate your the skills into your education practices. So the main objective of there were four objectives of this study. First one is to identify national international open education initiatives advocated by CBSE, the Central Board of Secondary Education, on its website. Second is to find out awareness and utilization of OERs among CBSE affiliated Indian public school teachers. Third is to understand the role of open educational resources helpful in curriculum teaching and learning. Fourth, to develop a model based on David Wiley's 5-year framework for adopting open pedagogy in Indian public schools. Just to fulfill these four objectives, this study has been conducted. So the study, along with the objective, the following scope and limitation. The screen shows the limit scope and limitations. So the entire study, as I mentioned, its study uses the CBSE main website and the library page, which is available on its academic website, to compile the open education initiatives advocated by the Indian School Education Board, which we have taken here is CBSE. And the second is the role of OERs in curriculum teaching and learning is acquired through the close-ended questions through an online survey. And nowhere this study attempt to explore, analyze content available on the websites providing the open access to their content. And the fourth one, the proposed model which the study is proposing is completely based on the 5-year framework given by the Wiley. So to achieve the objectives of the study, the study has been conducted in two phases. In the first phase, to identify the advocacy of open education initiatives, the websites of CBSE, as I mentioned, the two websites. First one is the main website, and the library page available on the academic website has been visited and checked for the open education resources and open access resources advocated by the CBSE. And in the second phase, to identify the awareness and utilization of OERs among the Indian public school teachers, the study adopted a quantitative approach for its data collection using a survey method. So, in the first phase of data collection, which was visiting visiting the websites of CBSE, the researcher has visited these two websites and tried to collect the various open educational resources advocated by the CBSE on its website. And the finding says, you can see on the right side, the list of resources found on the CBSE main website and academic library page of academic website, categorized into national and international. And it has been found that the CBSE is a very active promoter of open education, because we have found that 9 national and level internationally developed open access resources and OERs are which are suitable for the school academics are made available on CBSE websites. So in the second phase, which was the data collection through a survey method, so a structured questionnaire was developed using a Google form, and it has been distributed using the convenience and snowball sampling method to the Indian public school teachers through mails and WhatsApp. The questionnaire was consisting of 16 questions, which was divided into 4 segments. in the first segment, we collected the demographic detail, then the OER awareness. And the third one is the role of open education in suggestions. Fine. And this study, the questionnaires was distributed pan-India between June to October 2021. So from the distribution, the total 84 responses were received between this period from Indian public school teachers of 50 schools from 10 states. It means like this total 84 responses has come from 50 schools from 10 states. The schools were from 10 different states, out of which four were, after the total 84 responses, four responses were rejected because they were belonging to either the government schools or maybe they were not from the CBSE boards. The schools were not from the CBSE board, the teachers. Data statistics of the second phase says like we got 90 out of the 84, as I mentioned, the four were rejected. So the 85 95.2% responses got selected, out of which 57.5% were female. It means like out of the total 80 responses, selected 80 responses, 34 were male and 46 were female. So, and through the responses, even it has been found that 68.8% teachers are aware about the open educational resources. And 25 teachers, which stands for 31.2%, found unaware. And when it comes to the utilization of open educational resources in their teaching process, so it has been found that out of the total aware teachers, 56.3% have used OER. Somewhere they have used this kind of the open education resources in their teaching. So the finding says when it comes to the whether they are whether these kind of resources or open education resources are useful in curriculum teaching and learning. So it has been found that 23.3% teachers has acknowledged that OERs are well accepted as an additional learning material for curriculum, and 3.9%, which is a very low in number, on the six teachers says that OERs are helpful to them in creating new information. So somewhere there is a gap. The teachers are aware about the information, even they are using it, but but they are not creating the new information using this open education, using these OERs, which they are referring it in terms of when they're referring it during the process of their when they want to use them for their teaching or maybe for their classroom activities. It shows that directly they are using the open resources in their teaching process, but they are not creating any new information. So this is what the study reveals, that the utilization of OERs by Indian public school teachers is majorly only for the learning the concept from from additional resources, but not in knowledge creation. So as for the fourth objective, study proposes open pedagogy model, so which defines the options available for the teachers to create a new information using open education resources to enhance their teaching, and on the other side, how student can utilize the same for improving their understanding of the concept. Sorry, the Wiley 5R framework involves the retain, reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute. These are nothing but these are nothing but the kind of permission which it is permitting for the open education resources. Okay, so it's how a user can use open educational resources. So this is what the kind of permission this framework is giving. So if we'll see it, like the first permission says retain. It means user can retain the copy of the open education resource material. So what teacher can do, how they can retain it, either they can store it in their they can store the digital copy in either by making the bookmark, they can preserve in their repositories, or maybe on the school classroom smart boards, or they can take a printout and keep in their subject files. This is what how the teacher can retain. When it comes to the student part, obviously when the teacher gives this material to the student, so what they can do, they can either store this material, they can also take a printout and keep handy for their learning, and otherwise they can store in their drive accounts, okay, or maybe on their personal PCs. How the teacher can reuse the open education material is, they can engage when they are conducting the school group activities, reading, hands-on activities, quizzes, group discussions among the students. At that time, they can distribute this kind of copies or maybe this material to the students. And now when it comes to the student part, how the student can use, because the material has been given by the teacher, the student can read and come prepare for the class before the concept has been taught by the teacher. Okay, and this will even help him to actively participate in the activities conducted by the teacher. When it's come to the third concept of revise, the third permission, revise. So if a teacher founds OER complementing a particular topic of his subject, his or her subject, he or she can prepare learning material for the students by taking the content ideas and supplementing it with open license videos, animations. So she can again prepare a new content using the OER materials, various OER, for collecting the OER materials from the various sources. And this content is created by teacher can be translated into different languages as per the student comfort. In whichever the language student is comfort, he can translate it, he can record it, his own versions. He can make his notes. Okay, smart art he can prepare just for his better, so that he can understand the concept much better, which can be validated by the teacher and then can be exchanged with the other students. The permission on remix says it's a kind of a right to combine the original material or revised content with the other open content. So a teacher can take topic matching with the with the subject syllabus from various OERs. He can mash up and prepare a new document, which means teacher from, like, obviously when he has collected content from 3 4 different websites and OER content, open license content, and he can, as per his like, he feel like this particular content is really suitable for my syllabus, so he can collect the same topic from 3 4 resources and can prepare a new resource. And the same thing he can give it to his student, he can share with his student. And what student can do, they can prepare the subject wise digital booklet here. It's a kind of it's a bookmark folder they can make, so that they can learn in future. They can prepare for self learning notes they can make. Okay. And the last is redistribution, because the 5R framework gives permission to redistribute the open educational resources. What the teacher can do, how the teacher can redistribute, they can give through classroom sessions, they can keep them on their personal website, they can hyperlink that content, or they can through blog. They have a teacher has a blog, he or she can share through their blog, maybe video, photos, link he can share. Okay. Or he teacher can make a OER repository. And when it's come to the student part, through their personal or school created social media account, okay, or maybe through email, chat, he or she, the student can share the content with his other colleagues or other friends. Okay, fine. So this entire framework model is just a basic model for which can help the teachers and librarians to come together, work and enhance for the additional. It can be even the model can be enhanced for the additional insights. So in the conclusion, so the entire study was like somewhere was based on the new education policy 2020, which advocates the digital pedagogy and open online resources. And we know that even on the other side, Indian government has initiated various open educational platforms like Diksha. We have School of National Open Schooling, OEAS. It has OEAS separately. Even the eGyan course from IGNOU is there. Our National Digital Library, then ePathshala, SWAM. So these things are advocated. Even we found that these are advocated on the CBSE websites. So this justifies the importance of open education and OES, because making them available on the websites by through on a CBSE somewhere is depicting the importance of these kind of resources. And even these resources are supplementing in some way, they're supporting our national education policy mission. So it could be said that open education, OERs, and open pedagogy, if we'll mix this trio, it can make the education a better self-sufficient driver. And as a suggestion, the study suggests a CBSE to create a repository. Okay, so that for teach because we observe that there is a gap between usage and creation of new knowledge using the OERs. So if it's CBSE should create a subject repository kind of thing, so that if teachers are creating a new material based as per the syllabus using the OERs, so that they can submit that resources in that repository, and that could be provided throughout to other schools, so that it could be helpful for the school students and teachers. So with this, I am thankful to the organizer. Thank you so much.